Welcome into the Regional Gridiron Challenge as we continue with live high school football today on TV 24 from Jacksonville State University's Burgess Snow Field. I'm Carl Brady. Excuse me, John Holder is in the booth with me. Chase Robinson is making the transition down to the sidelines, and we have one more game for you today. This game will be between Sumter Central and the Boaz Pirates. John, it looks like we're going to have another good one this afternoon.
I think so. Two teams from two entirely different parts of the state, two different kinds of football. One thing they have in common, both coaches just entering their second year. So really both of these coaches, Jeremy Sullivan, the head coach at Boaz, and also Shannon Felder, head coach down at Sumter Central. Really, Carl, just trying to still get their programs established there. As we said, both entering into their second year. They've only been there about a year or so. So we're getting together here at Jacksonville State University. Of course, both of these guys have a whole lot in common as far as Jacksonville, Alabama goes. Jeremy Sullivan was an All-American lineman here and coached here at Jacksonville State University. Shannon Felder, of course, former head football coach at Donahoe, many years an assistant coach at Anniston, and has been one of the organizers of this Spring Gridiron Challenge for the last several years. So both of these guys know their way around Burgess Snow Field here at JSU.
That's right. So we're happy to have all of these folks here with us for some great spring high school football. And this will continue on again later on Thursday and Friday of next week. We'll have the Calhoun County Spring Jam on those 2 days. The next Saturday, we will continue with the Gridiron Challenge with 4 games for you all day Saturday here at Burgess Snow Field as well. As we get really close to time we should be about ready to start the game off today. So let's talk about the rules. Sumter County was a little late coming out of the locker room, and their 10-minute warm-up time is expired, but they're still warming up. But let's talk about the rules a little bit here with the Gridiron Challenge and the way we do things. Each game consists of 4 12-minute quarters, and, of course, the way we've been doing it today, the fourth quarter will be a running clock in the interest of speeding things up a little bit. So 3 regular quarters and a running clock in the fourth quarter. The kicking game will not be live. We will not have kickoffs, returns, anything like that, because a lot of injuries take place in the kicking game as in those special teams. So we'll just put the ball on the 35-yard line for the offense and start things off from there. You can do field goals and extra points, but there will be no rushing on fourth down. If you choose to punt, we'll simply move the ball 35 yards and give it to the other team unless you decide to go for it on fourth down. Each team gets 1 timeout per quarter, and we have the 10-minute time warm-up time between games. There are no tiebreakers at the end of the games. There will be 2 minutes between each quarter. There will not be a halftime, so we will simply move from the second quarter to the third quarter with a 2-minute break in between, just like we normally do for other quarters. And that's pretty much the rules of the game for our Spring Gridiron Challenge.
One thing that they decided to add, Carl, as we saw in the very first game, because of the weather today, they added one more rule, and that is a heat timeout. Typically, they mandate those for the first 3 weeks of the regular season of high school football. And then also, it's one of those deals where the temperature today actually probably more brutal and probably higher today than they would see during those first 3 weeks of the season at night in late August and early September. So there will be a heat timeout at the first break after the midway point of each quarter. I think that's a very good rule by the officials, and wisdom today, some smart wisdom in implementing that rule here today, because as you guys have been talking about throughout the first 2 games, probably 90 degrees out there. I was checking with Shad Smith, our PA announcer here. He had a thermometer down there. It was 90 degrees a couple of moments ago. And down on the field, you can easily, Carl, as you know, add about 10 degrees to that. So no doubt down on the surface, it's probably 100 degrees.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about that great new video board you see there on your screen, the new board. This is our first time to see the new board here at Burgess Snow Field, JSU Stadium. That amazing board, not completely turned on today, just using the video part of it today. And normally there are graphics on the sides with with stats and scores and things like that on the sides, on the other side of the screens there. But that is the new video board that was put up last year here at JSU Stadium and Burgess Snow Field. And the captains are doing the coin toss down on the field right now. And we should be able to get started with this matchup here in just a moment. Game number 3 today in the Gridiron Challenge.
Yeah, and we start taking a look at Sumter Central, and we look at the Boaz schedule first. And, of course, they're in an area, they're in a region with reclassification, some new teams in there, but they've got 3 games to begin the season on the road, then 4 games at home, and then 3 more on the road. I don't know if I've ever seen a schedule exactly like that before, with 3 big Marshall County rivals right out of the gate in Arab, Gunnersville. Those are non-region games. Douglas, a region game. Then they come home 4 straight weeks with Alexandria. That's a region game. A non-region game with Pisgah. Another new region game with next-door neighbor arch rival Sardis. And then another home game with Southside, who's moving down from 6A to 5A. And then, of course, you got the Etowah Blue Devils in there as well. And they also have Crossville on the schedule, and that they'll have a 10-game schedule there. But they have 3 to begin the season on the road, 4 at home, and 3 more to end the season on the road. And then you take a look at Sumter Central playing Woodlawn out of Birmingham, Class 1A Linden. And then they get into the heart of their region schedule with teams like Greensboro Public, Dallas County, Greene County. You've got American Christian, Montevallo, West Blockton, Sipsey Valley out of Tuscaloosa. And you notice for the next 2 years, they are going to play Oxford again. The last 2 years, they have come to Lamar Field in Oxford to play the Yellow Jackets in that last week of the regular season. And that will happen for the next 2 years again. Oxford not going to go down to Livingston and York to play both years again. They will make the trip up here to Calhoun County to take on the Oxford High School Yellow Jackets, which, by the way, Oxford played a spring game over at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi on Thursday against Tupelo and came away with a 14-0 victory. So a lot of area teams getting into spring football jamborees. Some of those this weekend, Carl, as you mentioned. We'll have a big 3 days of that coming up here on TV 24 next week, Thursday night, Friday night, and then during the day on Saturday.
Absolutely, as we continue to wait on Sumter Central to get out on the field, and let's get this thing started here. Remember, the kicking game is not going to be live, so we're just going to start off at the 35-yard line, and the Boaz Pirates will have the ball first on offense. Boaz in the white, and Sumter Central Jaguars in the black.
Big contingent here from Boaz. Boaz, the only team that we've had here today that brought their cheerleaders. They have an outstanding national championship caliber high school cheerleading squad at Boaz. They've made their way here, and we're ready to play some football.
Easton Harden is the quarterback for the Boaz Pirates, and right off the bat, we're going to see a long run from Boaz by number 9, Christian Collins.
Collins just taking it on the end around and picking his way through the Sumter Central defense and just kept on going and kept on going. And that's going to wind up being about a 50-yard run, maybe a 55-yard run all the way down just outside the 20.
Nice long run there by Collins. He'll take the ball to the 21-yard line. First down for the Pirates. Shotgun formation for Harden. 3 wideouts to the near side, 1 to the far side. Collins with a handoff again. He goes right up the middle, finds plenty of running room inside the 15-yard line. He'll be down at about the 14.
Collins, a strong runner, showing he can take it outside and showed some speed on that first run. Now taking it inside into the heat of that Jaguar defense, showing some power in the run game. Of course, Boaz here with a hurry up, no huddle. They do not huddle. Shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers, and kind of officials timeout over here. Maybe something going on with the chains over there, as the officials are going to go over there and have a discussion. They're talking to some of the chain gang crew, and they're going to mark them back a couple of yards.
Yeah, the folks on the chain gang, some volunteers out there, it looks like, who've never done the chain gang before. So.
Yeah, they had the well, it was not good over there. They had a little bit of a mistake over there, and now they're having to change it actually from 1 to 2 over there on about the 15-yard line. So I think we've got the chain gang group at least straightened out for the moment anyway.
For the moment anyway. So we are at second down and 4 to go for the Boaz Pirates. They're at the 14-yard line.
Well, we may not be done yet because someone is coming off the Sumter Central sideline, and we may have a replacement. Or at least somebody to supervise over there.
There we go. All right, here we go back to play. Second down for the Pirates. Harden throws across the middle, and the pass is incomplete. The intended receiver, Jaden Hornbuckle.
Collins, an upcoming senior. Also, Hornbuckle is an upcoming senior. That pass just a little bit behind him. Receiver was open right around the goal line, but the pass 2 or 3 yards behind him, incomplete.
Boaz is a 5A school, and Sumter Central a 4A school. Information there. Third down for the Pirates. Short pass goes out to Collins. Collins will go down to the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal for Boaz.
Collins, the workhorse right now for this Boaz offense. We saw him take the end around, going outside, an inside handoff, taking up the middle, and now coming out into the flat and taking that screen pass, scooped it up off the surface, broke a tackle, gave a stiff arm, took 3 tacklers to drag him down just inside the 3 for Boaz.
Boaz coming off a 3-8 season last year, looking to improve on that this year. Collins, the handoff, and he goes right into the end zone. 3-yard carry for a touchdown for the Pirates.
4-play drive for the Pirates, mostly on the ground. And that was just a running over of the linebacker by Mr. Collins, the tailback for Boaz. And the Pirates don't take long, just 1 minute and 5 seconds to get on the board here first at Burgess Snowfield.
And we're waiting. Looks like they are probably going to go for the 2-point conversion here. Yeah, lining up for a 2-point conversion as opposed to the extra point. Harden looks to the far side, and there's a flag coming out. He shakes off a tackle, then an incomplete pass into the end zone, but we'll have to see what those flags are that are sitting down right there around the 10-yard line.
Officials will discuss here. Could be a number of things. We'll get the call here from the officials on this 2-point play. It's going to be a hold against Boaz, and that will be declined by Sumter Central as they break up the 2-point pass. But it didn't take Boaz long. 4 plays, 65 yards, capped off by a 3-yard touchdown run by Christian Collins. Outstanding upcoming senior running back for the Boaz Pirates. A simple handoff. Good job by the Boaz offensive front. He didn't really run into anybody until he had already crossed the goal line. So great blocking up front by Boaz. The Pirates are on the board here on a hot afternoon in Jacksonville.
6-0. The Pirates with the lead over the Jaguars here early in the first quarter of our Gridiron Challenge action. Game number 3, our final game of the day today in the Gridiron Challenge. And remember, if you are tuning in and would like someone who's outside of the normal TV24 viewing area to watch, you can do so online. Go to tv24.tv and follow the live stream there, or simply use the live stream mobile app, and you can search for WEAC TV24 there, and it'll take you to the live show that you can watch on your mobile app, on your phone or your tablet. Sumter Central now on offense, immediately going to the air to an open wide receiver and overthrown. The intended receiver was number 3, Tyshawn Burton.
Chris Millsap, the quarterback, upcoming senior, showing his arm. Had plenty of time to throw, and that ball was probably thrown 40 or 50 yards in the air. A tight spiral that time, but just a little bit too far out of reach by Tyshawn Burton, another upcoming senior for the Jaguars, but a nice-looking pass by Millsap, the quarterback for Sumter Central.
So second down, 10 to go from the 35-yard line. Snap goes over the head of the quarterback, and it's going to be covered back at the 17-yard line. And that's going to be Dwayne Ruffin who falls on it to keep it from going any further back.
Ruffin and Millsap kind of looked at each other. I think each other thought the other one, the snap was intended for them, and instead it was snapped between them, and a huge loss all the way back inside the 20. That's going to be a loss of about 17 yards all the way back to the 18.
That makes it third down at about 27 to go. Millsaps with the pass, and that is going to be incomplete. And intended receiver on that, I believe, Deion Nelson.
Unlike Boaz, who was clicking offensively in that first drive, Sumter Central having problems getting in sync, and they'll elect to do what we'll call the simulated punt. It'll be a 35-yard punt, and Boaz, because of that, especially after the snap with the went over the quarterback's head, going to have some excellent field position. As Carl, they'll start this drive at their own 47-yard line. So, and there he is, Shannon Felder of Sumter Central High School, former University of Alabama football player, played in the Ray Perkins era at Alabama, native of Texas. Still has relatives out there that he visits a lot out in Texas, and spent many years, very successful years at Donahoe and Anniston. Many great undefeated and playoff teams there at Donahoe, and then an assistant coach at Anniston High School with Eddie Bullock for the last several years, up until last year when he had a chance to be a head coach again. And went down to the fairly newly consolidated school. Sumter Central's only been a school for 8 years, and he took over last year, his first year as the head coach at Sumter Central down in Sumter County.
Here we go with Boaz on offense. First play is a complete pass to the 45-yard line. Chandler Ernest is the receiver. So quickly close to a first down. We're going to take a look at this, and yeah, they're going to move the chains, so that's a first down for Boaz.
And pass a little bit from Harden, a little bit behind Ernest, but he was able to snag that one in, and a first down, and Boaz is rolling again on offense.
An interception off of a tipped pass. Harden threw the ball across the middle. The pass was tipped, and it's at 33, Tyler Davis.
Davis, an upcoming sophomore, as we see the replay here. Again, this pass over the middle, tipped up in the air. 2 or 3 players had a chance to get it, but it was Davis snagging it, a turnover. And now good field position here at the 35 for Sumter Central. First drive, really couldn't get anything going offensively. Let's see what the Jaguars can see if they can get a little bit more in sync here on drive number 2 here. Still early, 9:38 to go, opening quarter at JSU Stadium.
Remember, the Gridiron Challenge is brought to you in part today by Dunn's Heating and Cooling, and appropriately so on such a hot day. If you're having trouble with your air conditioning, call Dunn's Heating and Cooling. You can look them up online for the numbers. First down for the Jaguars. Millsap going to pull it down to keep it himself, coming to the near side, and he'll be tackled and forced out at the 36-yard line. So that'll be a 1-yard gain on the play.
Millsap, a good-looking athlete, good pocket presence. That time, no one was open, tried to scramble. Good containment by Boaz defensively to keep him within bounds, and just a minimal gain there of about a yard.
Second down, 9 to go for the Jaguars, who had a 1-9 season last year. From Sumter County in York, Alabama, and close to Demopolis. Millsap with a quick pass out to the left side. Good gain on the play to the 42-yard line. And that's Dwayne Ruffin coming out of the backfield to make that reception.
Logan Walls, the great open field tackle over there for Boaz, because if he doesn't make that tackle, Carl Brady's probably calling touchdown Sumter Central. He was the last line of defense over there. Good screen pass, looked like he had a whole lot more yards than he was going to get, and Mr. Walls goes over there and knocks him down. Great open field tackle over there by Boaz.
Third down, 3 yards to go for the Jags. Millsap and Ruffin in the backfield. Millsap going to keep it, go right up the middle, found a little hole, but not a big gain on the play. He's going to gain about a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards, so it'll be 4th down and 1.
See what Shannon Felder does here. A lot of times in spring games and these short yardage situations, you'll see teams elect to go for it. So Shannon Felder and his staff calling the play over here on short yardage situation coming up. Coach Felder going to talk with the officials for just a little bit, and he's going to call timeout. And so there'll be a timeout called by Sumter Central. That will be their only timeout of this first quarter.
Each team will only get 1 timeout per quarter for these spring jamboree games. 8 minutes to go in the first quarter action. We'll take a quick break.
I'll just be a minute.
What you just did with that clutch was so clutch. Just like when you ditched your old credit card and got the America's First credit card with a low interest rate and cash back on purchases.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
It's time to get after it. So turn it on, crank it up, and let's get after it together. America's first small business services.
I'll just be.
And we welcome back to the Gridiron Challenge at Jacksonville State University. As we come back to action, we see Sumter Central still on offense, run by Dwayne Ruffin there. And is it going to be enough? That was a fourth down play. There's a flag on the play, so we'll have to see how they sort this out. He gained enough up to the 47-yard line. But now the call is going to go against the Jaguars, so they'll move the ball back to the 34.
When Coach Felder played for Ray Perkins at Alabama, Alabama had a very simple toss sweep play that they ran to Kerry Good a lot of times, later Bobby Humphrey and Gene Jelks, and it was called 29 toss. And that looked a lot like just a simple 29 toss coming there from Coach Felder on that last play by Sumter Central.
We're going to have a simulated punt here by the Jaguars and move the ball 35 yards as we do in the spring games. John talked a little bit about there are two reasons for simulating the kicking game. One of those is it speeds the game up a little bit for spring games, and another, the majority of football injuries seem to happen on special teams, and you don't want to get people injured in the spring game.
Exactly right. And I think another big factor in that, too, is these teams only had 9 days to prepare. As we take a look at Jeremy Sullivan, getting him some water over there on the sidelines, head coach of Boaz, second season as head coach of the Pirates, and he is a tremendous high school football coach, All-American lineman here out of Leroy, Alabama, his hometown.
Easton Harden with a pass across the middle. It's incomplete. Taylor Smith was the intended receiver. It's a little bit behind and a little bit behind him, but nice opening move there by the Pirates.
We've seen 3 passes here by Harden. All 3 of those have been just a little bit behind the receiver. Receivers have been open. If he can correct and make that adjustment, and I'm sure he will as we move through this game, could see some big pass connections here for Boaz.
How important are those passing camps in the summer for those kind of things?
Absolutely.
Second down for the Pirates. Harden with a handoff. Over the right side toward the middle of the field. We get out to the 38-yard line, and that is Anibal Perez.
Perez is only listed as about 5'6", and Carl, looking at him, I'm not even sure if he's 5'6". That might be generous. But thanks to that big offensive line from Boaz, he doesn't have to be very big. They blew a big hole in that Jaguar defensive front that time, and again, he wasn't touched until he was 7 or 8 yards down the field.
Third down and a couple to go. Again, the handoff goes to Perez.
Handoff to Perez.
And he's going to get across the 40-yard line. They'll mark him at the 41, and that is enough for a first down, so they'll move the chains.
Again, Boaz moving the football. They moved it on the first drive in 4 plays for a touchdown. Had a turnover, had an interception on their second series. They were moving the ball there, and now possession number 3 here in the first quarter. They're moving the ball again. Another first down for the Pirate offense.
Quickly moving offense for the Pirates. Another handoff to Perez. He's got plenty of room across midfield. And he'll go all the way to the 48-yard line. And that's another first down for the Pirates.
Another 11-yard run. And the most impressive thing, I think, has been that Boaz offensive front. Open up those holes in the front line there. Look at that blocking. All kind of folks. Jackson Surratt out there opening up one of the big holes over here at the tackle position. Just a great job by the Pirate offensive line.
Harden in the shotgun formation. Wideouts to either side, but he's going to give it to Perez. Perez finds another hole, makes a couple of yards before being hit really hard at the 46-yard line.
Tackle is made by 63.
This time nowhere to go, as you see. Still a pretty good hole, but a nice job by Sumter Central of filling the hole from the linebacker spot in only a 2-yard gain.
2nd and 8 for Boaz. Harden looks to go to the air, scrambling around, can't find anybody, breaks a tackle, gets it off toward the sideline, and he throws it out of bounds.
Nice.
Taylor Smith was the intended receiver there.
Yeah, nice job by Harden over there again, as he did a nice job escaping pressure, broke a tackle to even get that pass off and avoid the sack. And now we will be at our mid-quarter heat timeout at the 5:56 mark of the opening quarter.
The Regional Gridiron Challenge live at Jacksonville State University. And remember, we have more of the Gridiron Challenge coming up on next Saturday. This is our final game today, but next Saturday we'll feature Cleburne County and Good Hope, followed by Central Clay and Ray County, Montgomery Catholic and Callaway, Gardendale and Lawrence County, and those games will get underway next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Same rules, same availability on TV, streaming live, all that kind of stuff for you. If you'd like to see some more spring high school football. Of course, we have Thursday and Friday as well, the 17th and 18th. The Calhoun County Spring Jam we'll be doing live as well.
And we, as we always do, Carl, including in this event that we had even today, there are changes to the schedule. We've got some late changes to the schedule. Ray County, Tennessee, who was down here a couple of years ago and played Oxford, they're not coming. So what's going to happen next Saturday is they're going to, they were scheduled to play a whole game with Clay Central. So instead, Central Clay County and Gardendale and Lawrence County are going to play halves, a round-robin half with each other. And then we'll still have the whole games between Montgomery Catholic and Callaway, Georgia, and also Cleburne County and Good Hope. And there's a change that we'll tell you about in just a minute coming to the Calhoun County Spring Jam.
Incomplete pass for the Boaz Pirates there, but the flag is going to come in. We're probably going to have either some kind of hold or interference.
Like they're going to get Sam Gully, the linebacker, outside linebacker for Sumter Central, with a pass interference, as he may have held the arm right as the pass was getting there. So it looks like we have a pass interference, and that will be the call. Whistled against Sumter Central. So Boaz driving in. That's a big 15-yard penalty. Takes the ball down to the 31. Going back to the Calhoun County Spring Jam, just late yesterday afternoon, Spring Garden is playing for the state championship in baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
So they are pulling out. They were supposed to play Weaver on Friday. Instead, they have recruited DAR, another Marshall County school. One of the neighbors here of Boaz is going to come down and play Weaver and take Spring Garden's place next week.
Boaz is still on the move. Short screen pass out to the near side, number 29, Carson Chambly, with the reception there, and he'll go down to the 18-yard line, and yet another first down for the Boaz Pirates.
Nice looking design play by Boaz. Chambly caught the pass, kind of running along with Harden there. That was kind of like a Nick Marshall at Auburn, one of those deals where he comes down the line and he's got that run pass option, and at the very last minute flicks the pass out there, and another nice game for the Pirates.
Quick screen pass out to the right side this time to Christian Collins. And Collins will work his way down to, looks like the 12-yard line is where they're going to mark him down.
Collins, the workhorse in that first drive. Hadn't called his name much since then, but look at the breaking of the tackles here. Took that pass in the backfield, actually had to turn around 360 degrees to avoid the tackle, then did another 360, and finally hauled down inside the 15-yard line down at the 12. And we've got more chain problems going on.
Yeah, they
the
moved the 10-yard chains at the same time that they moved the ball markers. So now we got to figure out where the chains are supposed to be and move them back.
So we've got some mass confusion over there on the far sideline. They're going to now back up just a little bit. It will be second down still, it appears. Did not get the first down. With the ball at the 12, they'll have to go to the 9 to get the first down. So it looks like, if these measurements are right, Carl, that it's about 2nd and 3.
That's what we're going to call it anyway.
I'm not sure the officials know. Something they have to keep their eye on the entire game over there.
Second down for Boaz. Harden shotgun formation with Collins behind him. Gives it to Collins over the right side of the line. He'll go down to that 9-yard line. Probably going to have a first down. It's going to be close.
Maybe close enough to measure, and that may really be an adventure here if we have to have a measurement. And we're very close to that. I think we're about to have that.
Yep, we're going to call for the measurement just to be sure.
This should be fun. Mike Hathcock out in the truck will tell you that I am the world's foremost expert on judging whether teams have first downs or not. I say that with tongue firmly in cheek.
So we'll bring the chains out here.
It has nothing to do with age and eyesight either. I've been bad at this for a long, long time.
Yeah,
that's pretty close.
It is going to be a first down just by the nose of the football.
I will defer all measurements to Carl Brady. Carl got that one right immediately as soon as he hit the turf. He said it looks like a first down. And I have to take our hats off. We've been giving them a little grief over there, but the chain gang crew did a pretty good job that time. So
yeah. Some situations like this where you have to grab volunteers to work and may not know exactly what's going on sometimes. Here we go, Boaz. First and goal from the 9-yard line. Harden going to get in some trouble, but he finds a little room to get out of it. He'll go to the 7-yard line, a couple of yards gained on the play.
Harden did a great job that time. That was a disaster. That could have very easily been a loss and a sack, and how he weaved his way through traffic and actually able to gain a couple of yards. Very impressive elusiveness by Harden that time, the quarterback for Boaz.
Second down, 7 to go. Goal to go. Harden shotgun formation, everything heavy on the left side. He's moving to the left side. Going to look to throw, but has a lane to run in, and it's a touchdown for the Boaz Pirates. Good job of spreading out that defense and giving him a little room to take that 7 yards right into the touchdown.
Boaz head coach Jeremy Sullivan, he's going to love this play from his quarterback, the decision-making. Looking all over the field, scanning, and then making the decision. Instead of throwing it into traffic, there were a lot of black jerseys in the end zone there. Instead of making that decision to try to force one in, let's see if I can run it in. Great decision by Harden for the touchdown.
Going for the two-point conversion again. Harden is going to throw it into some more of that traffic. It's going to be blocked away. So no two-point conversion here, but the Boaz Pirates will go up by a score of 12-0 here in first quarter action in the Gridiron Challenge. As we look at the quarterback in the touchdown one more time, found that lane to go through, saw he had room to get in there, and took advantage of it.
Very good decision by Harden that time. The two-point pass broken up by Sam Gully. We called his name a lot for Sumter Central. So you got to be really impressed with the Boaz offense here, except for that one interception. That's really been only the bad play that they've had offensively. They've had 3 possessions, scored on 2 of the 3. I tell you, except for that turnover, they may have been 3 for 3 the way they've been moving the football. So we've only played, basically a little bit over 8 minutes here, and Boaz already with 2 touchdown drives.
So not having the kicking game, as we mentioned, so we'll put the ball on the 35-yard line for the Jaguars, and they'll have another chance on offense here. 3:50 remaining in first quarter action. The Regional Gridiron Challenge live on TV 24 and streaming online at tv24.tv. Chris Millsap at quarterback. Quick toss out to the near side, and that play will gain out to the 38-yard line, but the flag's coming in on the play. That was Tyshawn Burton on the carry.
Wouldn't be surprised if we had another hold here, thrown right into the interior of that Jaguar defense, and that's going to be a hold and another 10-yard penalty against Sumter Central. We were talking earlier, Carl, about the lack of kicking game and things like that, and we mentioned in passing a few moments ago that both the teams from Georgia that are here, and I assume the teams from Mississippi that we had earlier, certainly the teams from Alabama, they only have 10 days of spring practice, and this is one of those.
Right.
The game counts as one, and then you have the first couple of days you're not allowed to go into pads at all. So you're in a situation where basically you have a little bit more than a week to really practice football. And so Kicking game is one of those things that just has to be put on the back burner in order to really just get your offense and defense and a little bit of conditioning. And I've been impressed. I really thought we were going to have a lot of problems today with the heat from these players, but I've been impressed with the conditioning of all 6 of these teams that we've seen so far here today at JSU.
Yeah, we've not seen any heat problems as we back the Jaguars up. It's first down at about 18 to go. Millsap carries it himself, gets to the 31-yard line. 4-yard gain on the play there.
Very good defense. No real stars on that Boaz defense, but doing a good job of just kind of stretching out those plays. Obviously, Millsap, a dangerous guy with his legs, just trying to string him out, turn him back to the inside where the defense is, and have somebody make the tackle. Just a minimal gain there, and a long second down coming up now for the Jags.
2nd and 13 to be specific. Quite a bit of difference in the way the offense is run here. Boaz, quick pace, no huddle, and Sumter Central takes their time between every play. Millsap looks to throw. He's going to go deep to the near side. He's got an open receiver, and this one is going all the way for a touchdown, and I believe the roster is not in numerical order. Number 18 is Adrian Wallace, so there he is.
Well, we saw the first play of the game. We saw a long pass by Millsap, and we knew he had an arm. Look at this throw. Another great. This one was not overthrown, right on the money, right into the hands of number 18, Adrian Wallace. And that is an easy throw and catch for a long touchdown by Sumter Central. Millsap has been very impressive at quarterback. We've seen what he can do with his legs, and his arm strength is phenomenal. That's as pretty a pass and as good a throw on the pass as we've seen all day here at JSU Stadium.
And it looks like the Jaguars are going to line up and go for the 2-point conversion as well. Millsap goes to the left side, and the 2-point conversion is going to be no good. Short pass to Dwayne Ruffin going to the left side, and he's not going to make it into the end zone. But the Jaguars get on the board for the first time. Our score 12-6. Boaz leading Sumter Central. So we have just over 2 minutes remaining in first quarter action here.
Nice route running by Adrian Wallace. Wallace just ran by the entire Boaz secondary. And able to haul in that 67-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, who has been phenomenal. Very impressive, Chris Millsap. Neither team right now being very successful in their conversions. Both teams just electing to go for 2. They can kick it. It's not a live kick. They can do extra points. But both of these teams so far in the 3 touchdowns we've seen here in this first quarter, electing to go for 2 every time. So can Boaz answer with another long touchdown drive like their first drive of the game?
First down for the Pirates at their 35-yard line. Harden dumps it off across the middle to number 13, Chandler Ernest. And it will be enough for a first down at about the 48-yard line. I think, is there a flag, or are they just going to talk for a minute?
This is so dangerous here if you're a defense. And what do? You kind of pick your poison here, because you got a quarterback that can run the football. He can also throw it, and he comes out and literally at about the time he is about to cross the line of scrimmage does he make his decision. And he might have actually crossed the line.
He crossed the line of scrimmage. I was kind of concerned about that, but I never did see a flag come out. But I thought maybe he might be across the line of scrimmage, and that's what they are saying now. So they're going to back it up to the 30-yard line, and it'll be first down and 15 for the Pirates. Anytime you're running forward like that before you throw your pass, you got to know where your feet are.
There's a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense, though, when you've got a quarterback that can both run and throw it, so you know he's a threat, and makes that decision at the last moment, makes those defenders make a decision.
Easton Harden, the quarterback, goes to the right side. Pass is complete. And the receiver there, number 29, Carson Chambly. And that play will go to the 40-yard line.
We thought we would see Harden make that adjustment. His first 3 or 4 passes were behind the receivers. That one, he just kind of stepped in there, took a little bit off of it, made sure it was in front of the receiver and made a nice completion for about a 5-yard gain.
2nd and 5 for the Pirates. Harden looks to throw again. And that is going to be an incomplete pass over on the far sideline. Taylor Smith looks like the intended receiver there.
Good defense over there by Aaron Alston of Sumter Central. Ball was high. He knew it was going to be uncatchable just to make sure. Shoved the Boaz defender down into the boundary over there, and a really nice defensive play. Good coverage over there by Alston of the Jags.
Third down and 5 for Boaz. Harden dropping back, looks to throw again, goes over there to Smith one more time, and again it is going to be an incomplete pass. Bring up 4th down.
Again, good defense over there by Alston. Also that time over there in the coverage was Derek Hutchinson. So Hutchinson and Alston kind of double teaming over there. Excellent defense in the secondary by Sumter Central, and they force a simulated punt by Boaz.
So we'll move the ball 35 yards up the field. And that will put the ball on the Sumter Central 25-yard line. First down for the Jaguars.
And if you're Shannon Felder, head coach at Sumter Central, you're thinking about going back to the well again. You've had receivers open running down the middle of the field 2 different times in this quarter. One you overthrew, one you nailed right on the money for a long touchdown. So, will Coach Felder maybe go to the well again? Right now, Boaz having some trouble tracking down these receivers on these long fly patterns by Sumter Central. And Millsap has certainly proven he can get it there and then some.
Just under a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. 3 regulation 12-minute quarters, and then the 4th quarter will be with a running clock to wrap the game up. It is first down at the 25-yard line. Millsap. Pass is complete, so break a tackle, but still going to be knocked backwards. And again, that is number 18, Adrian Wallace, on the reception, I believe. Yes, that looks like 18.
We're talking baseball a lot about having a live arm. Chris Millsap has a live arm. Even on that short little screen pass into the flat, there was some zip on that ball. That was like catching a fastball. You saw the receiver over there, Wallace, juggled it just a little bit. That was coming in hot. That young man Millsap has quite the arm.
4-yard gain on that play, so 2nd down and 6 from the 29-yard line. Millsap goes with a handoff. Sweeps to the far side, turns it up on the sidelines, and he'll pick up to about the 42-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Jaguars.
That was number 1, and Carl, I don't have a number 1.
We do not have a number 1 on our roster, so
we have a lot of numbers, and we have a lot of players where we have names and grades, but we don't have a jersey number, so we're going to assume that's one of those. But there are so many of those, probably a dozen or so. I would hate to even venture a guess as to what that young man's name may be. We'll maybe try to Chase Robinson's down the sideline. He's on the Sumter Central sideline. Maybe he can help us out with some of those numbers, maybe on number 1 there.
First down at the 42-yard line. Millsap with a handoff. That's Sean Burton. Burton tries to cut it up and cut it up the middle, but slides down a little bit, keeps his footing enough that he doesn't go down, but he's still going to have a loss on the play. Just a little bit, about a half-yard loss by the time it's over with. And this is going to be the end of the first quarter of action here in game number 3 of our Gridiron Challenge at Jacksonville State University. Live on TV 24, the Gridiron Challenge brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling in Jacksonville.
We were looking to sell our starter home and move into our dream home. After looking at all the options, we chose to work with ERA King. ERA means easy, responsive, and attention to detail. ERA King made the entire process of buying and selling a house easy. From helping us decide on a listing price to navigating the final closing, our agent worked with us every step of the way. ERA King. To us, it means always doing the right thing for every client. What will ERA mean to you? Find out at eraking.com.
The job title is Calhoun County Coroner, but I believe it is so much more than just a job title. Jobs can be taught, but this job requires compassion. Unlike a job, true compassion cannot be taught. This position touches people's lives, and how situations are handled will affect people's lives. I have worked in the EMS field for over 15 years. One of my positive traits is my God-given ability to show true compassion in bad situations. I commit to treat your family just as I would want my family to be treated. It's really just that simple. I'm Tom Slick, and thank you for your vote on June 5th.
And we're back to action at Jacksonville State University, JSU Stadium, Burgess Snowfield for the Regional Gridiron Challenge, day number 1 of the 2018 Gridiron Challenge. We've got the Sumter Central Jaguars and the Boaz Pirates. Sumter Central on offense right now, second down and about 11 to go. There you see number 7, that's Dwayne Ruffin, and the quarterback is number 8, Chris Millsap. And Ruffin is going to have a slight gain on that play, not very much, but he'll get just across the 40-yard line to bring up third down now, and still about 11 to go.
Linebacker Lorenzo Goss coming in there for Boaz with a nice open field tackle to drag him down after just a minimal gain. And by the way, we'll go back and tell you, Chase Robinson down the sidelines reports to us that number 1, who made that nice run for Sumter Central a couple plays ago, is Derek Hines, listed on our roster as number 2. Changed jerseys, and he's now wearing number 1. So he's the young man who made that nice run for Sumter Central back a couple of plays ago.
Millsap turning to his right side, and the ball is an incomplete pass. And that was almost a lateral. So Boaz jumped on it there, just in case. We'll take another look at it here. He starts to move to his left, then turns back to his right, and that just goes right through the hands of Dion Nelson.
That was a nicely designed play. A little misdirection coming this way to bring the defense this way, throw the screen the other way. They pulled a guard out, so they had 2 blockers. They had another wide receiver and had a lineman out there to help block. It was set up perfectly. But the first thing you got to do is catch the football, and it was dropped over there by number 6, Dion Nelson, and so it will be punt time for Sumter Central.
Moving the ball to 35 yards. Boaz will take over on offense, and that 35 yards puts the ball at the 25-yard line for the Pirates.
Coach Felder and some of his assistants talking with young Mr. Nelson there and saying, hey, you got to catch the ball. If you had caught that ball, you saw Coach Felder saying you could have gone to the house. Everything was perfectly set up. Could have been a big third down play for Sumter Central. Instead, punt time, and here come the Pirates again.
First down for the Pirates at their own 25. Number 7, Easton Harden at quarterback. Harden rolling to his left, looking for a pass out to the left side. It's complete. The play will gain up to the 30. They're going to mark him all the way at the 35-yard line. And I believe Carson Chambly was the receiver again on that play.
Chambly doing a good job catching some of these short passes out of the backfield, some of these screens. And this is just, we saw Boaz here last year. They played on a Thursday night here in this event last year against New Hope. And, of course, Coach Sullivan had only been on the job 2 or 3 years. They just look so much more advanced than they were at this time last year.
Pass across the middle, and that is going to be complete to Jaden Hornbuckle. And another first down for the Boaz Pirates, who are successfully moving the ball well through the air so far for the most part today.
The first quarter, that pass by Harden would have been behind the receiver. That one right on target, and it's a first down to Hornbuckle. And you can just tell Boaz, from seeing them a year ago, even from seeing them last fall, I had a chance to watch them some in the regular season last fall, just a much improved football team, just more confident in what they're doing, executing the program and the offense that Coach Sullivan wants.
Harden with a handoff to Collins, right up the middle, and Collins will gain to the 42-yard line. It's about a 5-yard gain on the play on first down.
Boaz got some weapons. They've got some things they can do on offense, scheme-wise, with a quarterback, good decision maker, decent arm, good runner. Then you've got Collins over there. They've got some weapons. They've got some things Boaz does that can cause some problems for their foes in their 5A region like Sardis and Douglas and Crossville and Southside and Alexandria and Etowah.
Another handoff to Collins. Collins has plenty of room. Cuts to the near side. He's coming toward the sidelines. He's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Looked like he stepped out at the 5 as he was pushed.
That's going to wind up being a 46-yard run by Collins. Looked like nothing was going to be there, and Sumter Central would have that bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Picked his way through the defense. Had some open field, then made a nice cut to the outside. Watch this cut. Knows that the defense is there in the middle. Cuts it back to the outside. Broke a tackle there at the 20. Kept on running, staying on his feet, and goes all the way down. And a good call by the officials. He almost scored on that, Carl, as he was knocked out of bounds at the 1.
And following it right up with a 1-yard run for another touchdown for the Boaz Pirates.
Collins with a big run. Collins with the short run for the touchdown. And Boaz with another impressive short drive by the Pirates.
We'll see what Boaz elects to do here. Looks like they are going to kick their extra point this time.
Kylan Hornbuckle, an upcoming 9th grader, attempt this kick for Boaz.
And it's through and good for the Boaz Pirates. Again, anytime we do the kicking game, there is no rush. So a good job by Hornbuckle there. And Boaz goes up by a score of 19-6. 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter of action here at the Gridiron Challenge. Day number 1, our final game of day number 1 of the Gridiron Challenge. We're bringing together high school football games from 3 states again this year to play their spring games here at Jacksonville State University. It's quite an experience, John, for most of these guys to get to come play in a college stadium on this nice turf. It's just a completely different atmosphere than Friday night in high school football.
Yeah, we have some teams coming back, teams like Boaz, who was here last year, coming back. But for the most part today, we've seen teams that have never been here before. Sumter Central's first visit here. Also, Hatley, Mississippi was in earlier. Their first visit. Haralson County, Georgia, Abbeville from down in the Wiregrass in southeast Alabama, all getting their first visit here to Burgess-Snowfield.
Sumter Central back on offense with the ball at the 35-yard line. Chris Millsap, the quarterback. Takes the snap. He looks to throw. Nobody there. He's going to scramble around now. He goes deep again. What an arm. He's got an open receiver, but it's intercepted by Boaz at the 20-yard line. They'll mark it at the 13-yard line, and that is number 11 for Boaz, Jaquez Kelly.
This was almost another long touchdown pass from Millsap. The receiver was open, but this time, great recovery by the upcoming 9th grader Kelly. Watch Kelly close on the football, get his head around. You see so many times even at the college level, defensive backs who do not turn their heads around. He did a great job of getting his head turned around, finding the football and going up and making the interception. That is a big-time play by an upcoming 9th grader in the secondary for Boaz.
When that ball was thrown, the wide receiver had the defender, had Kelly beat. But while the ball was in the air, Kelly made up that difference and to be right in the right spot for that catch.
Carl, you said it exactly right. We thought it was going to be a touchdown. I think you and I both thought that.
Yeah.
But great recovery by Kelly to get the interception.
First down for Boaz, 19-yard line. That's where they put it. Harden overthrows his intended receiver, Taylor Smith. They were trying to strike while the iron was hot. And just an overthrown pass there. But Smith was pretty well open himself.
And we mentioned Millsap and the arm he has for Boaz. I should say for Sumter Central. Harden that time for Boaz, throwing a little bit of his arm strength. All the passes we've seen from Boaz have been short, less than 10 yards. That's the first time they've kind of opened things up. He had the receiver there, perhaps overthrew him just a little bit in Taylor Smith. But look for Boaz to go back to that play. It was wide open that time.
Second down and 10 from the 19. Hand off to Collins. Finds running space right up the middle. Dives out to the 29-yard line. And that'll be a first down for the Pirates.
Collins already here with 8.5 to go in the half. Probably already has over 100 yards rushing for Boaz. He is an impressive athlete, impressive-looking running back, number 9 for the Pirates. See him right there. He's got a nice combination of size and speed, and he has been the workhorse. He has had a really nice first half here at JSU Stadium.
First down at the 28-yard line, close to the 29. Harden takes the snap, goes to the air again. On the left side, and it's going to be an interference call there because the defender was holding on to the jersey of number 11, Jaquez Kelly.
Pass interference. I think that's a pretty good call. As we see the long pass again, Boaz kind of airing it out on this drive, and that goes to, that's going to be called on Jimmy Brown, number 10, who is an upcoming 10th grader for Sumter Central. Just grabbed the arm as he came by, and that will be a pass interference, but maybe a good pass interference by Brown, because if he doesn't grab that arm, probably would be a completion for a long gainer for Boaz.
The penalty moves the ball to the 44-yard line and gives Boaz another first down.
I think if Jeremy Sullivan had one word to describe his offense today, it's been efficient. They have been very efficient in what they've done. This, producing a lot of points, a lot of yards.
Smith goes into motion, and the handoff goes to Smith. Having a hard time keeping his footing, but he's going to gain a couple of yards, maybe give him 3 to the 47-yard line.
Keep calling Sam Gully the outstanding linebacker for Sumter Central. Called his name a lot several times already here in the first half. Another great open field tackle that time to keep that game from being more than just 3 yards.
John, how different is it playing ball on this turf than on the regular fields that the high school guys are used to playing on? Because we've had a lot of guys slipping and sliding out there today and having a hard time keeping their feet.
Yeah, I think you're right, Carl. It's a big difference. It takes some getting used to. There's just not the. So we see another nice run there by the quarterback, Easton Harden, but there's not the give. You've been down there on the. There's really not the give that you have on the grass with those deep roots there. You mentioned in one of the games earlier that it looked like dust was being kicked up, and you mentioned how that's not dust. Obviously, that is, those rubber pellets they have down
teeny
there.
rubber BB pellets.
And that is what you'll see from time to time. And we have seen in every one of these games, regardless of what kind of shoes they have on, we've seen a lot of players slipping and falling down. The teams that play on this every day, they know what they can do and can't do. But teams that have never played on this before, there is an adjustment period.
3rd and about 1 for the Pirates. Harden with a handoff to Collins. He picks up that one and a little bit more as he's still on his feet, twisting and turning, and he goes all the way for a touchdown.
Collins has had 2 phenomenal runs on this end of the field.
They're marking him out at the 1-yard line.
But there is a flag at the 40-yard line. I'm afraid we may have a hold. As a matter of fact, the white hat is calling them back. I think we're going to have a hold downfield, whistled against Boaz. But what a great run. There's 2 great runs in a row that we've seen by Collins in this quarter.
Good job of keeping his feet. He's hit by several defenders. They're not wrapping him up, though. They're hitting him, trying to knock him down. He's bigger than most of these guys. And so knocking him down is not going to happen. They're going to have to wrap their arms around him and drag him down if they're going to get him down.
One thing, too, is we see a face mask. Actually, that will be a touchdown, it looks like.
Face mask.
There's a face mask call. They marked him out at the 1-yard line. Did not give him the touchdown, so it's going to be another play all the way to the 1-yard line.
So the run stands, so that's going to wind up being another 45-plus yard run, 2 in this quarter on this end of the field by Collins of Boaz. As we get the yardage marked all the way down inside the 1. What phenomenal runs by Collins. And you're right, not only is he big, he's a lot bigger than he looks, but he has as good of a stiff arm as you're going to see in high school football. That guy stiff-armed about 3 Jaguars on that run.
1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Gives it to Collins, and he just steps right across the line for another Boaz touchdown.
Really needs to replay the last drive. He had a 45-yard run or a 46-yard run on that last drive where he broke a lot of tackles and almost scored down to the 1. The next play, they gave it to him, and he walked into the end zone. Same thing happened on this drive. 45-plus yard run all the way down inside the 1, and then just walked into the end zone for the touchdown. And Boaz has been very, very impressive. I know there's some coaches here from Etowah probably some coaches from some other schools in their region that are here checking out the game today. And I would imagine Boaz is probably raising some eyebrows with this performance here.
I would think so. Hornbuckle is back out for the point after. There'll be no rush, so takes his time and kicks it right through the uprights for a good point after.
And the extra point attempt is good.
And that gives Boaz a 26-6 lead about halfway through the second quarter here as we continue with the Gridiron Challenge, the Regional Gridiron Challenge, brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Located in Jacksonville, but they service the entire East Alabama region, and talked to them just the other day, and they talked about how covered up they are in work as the heat starts to pick up here in Alabama and people realize that their air conditioning units are not working correctly after a long winter.
Boy, they could use Dunn's out here today to set up some air conditioning here at Burgess Snow Field, that's for sure. Folks would appreciate that if they could just bring some big air conditioner and set it up and
yeah.
blow it on the folks here. As you guys mentioned earlier, there are some folks sitting out in the sun, but most of the folks are sitting in the red seats on the home side because there is the shade there being provided by the press box here. You notice on the Boaz side, you look over there on the Boaz side, there's not one person sitting over there, and you're thinking, well, Boaz didn't bring any fans. Their team's over there, but all their fans are over here, and the reason why is that has been in total sunshine over on that visitor side the whole day.
Yeah, there you see some of the folks who are sitting in the red seats and in the shaded area, taking advantage of the shade on a hot mid-May afternoon. There's a handoff for the Jaguars. And that is number 7, Dwayne Ruffin. A nice run to pick up a first down at midfield.
Ruffin right up the gut, picked up about 12 yards that time. Look at that, nice job by the Sumter Central offensive line. Then he breaks a couple of tackles and takes it all the way out to the 50-yard line.
15-yard gain on the play. First down.
First down at the 50. And nowhere to go there. You get 1 yard loss on the play.
Quarterback is sacked by number 19.
And we're seeing a little bit of a different look from the Jaguars as Chris Millsap going under center.
Lawson 1 yard on the play.
Looks like he may have an equipment problem, does Millsap over there. Trying to make some adjustments around his face mask, and now looks like they have him set and ready to go. Nice tackle that time by defensive tackle, big number 90 from Boaz on that last play, Junior Langford.
Millsap again under center. Ball on their own 49-yard line. Man in motion, toss sweep. Going to the right side, that's Burton, Tashawn Burton. Still on his feet, nice fumble at the end of the play. Nice game, but a fumble at the end of the play at about the 34-yard line, and it looks like Boaz says they have the ball. And that's the official indication as well. Boaz recovers the fumble at the end of the play.
Just the toss sweep we talked about, that maybe toss 29 play. Shed a tackler at the very, very end. Watch the hit in traffic there, and the ball comes loose. There it is. Nice recovery by Boaz. White jerseys all over the place. The very last moment, the ball did come out. Good job by the officials in the call. Good job of communicating by the officials, as one maybe didn't have the best look at it and was able to come over there and confirm and say, hey, that is a fumble. And we have our mid-quarter heat timeout for quarter number 2 right now.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of loose footballs in the 3 games that we've had today. And these guys are they're carrying the ball very loosely. They're using their hand and their forearm to carry the ball instead of tucking it in against their body and protecting the ball. So that's something all of these teams are going to have to work on some, is get these kids to walk around school or walk around spending their days holding on to a football to remind them, hold on to the football.
That's 7-on-7 camps and all that we have coming up in the summer. They'll work on that a good bit. Carl, I want to take a moment here. You know, last year, almost 1 year ago exactly at this time when Boaz was in this event playing New Hope last year, Jeremy Sullivan had just been on the job as head coach for a couple of months because Eric Whaley had to step down because of health problems as head coach at Boaz. And unfortunately, 3 months later, almost to the day on August 13th of last year, Coach Whaley passed away. It's been a tough year for the Boaz football family. Just that happening a couple of weeks literally before the start of their season, and tough loss to the folks up at Boaz. And I know it was a tough year for them last year, but Coach Sullivan and the team very competitive last year in a lot of circles. Improved their winning percentage and were able to get 3 wins out last year. So I know it's been tough on Boaz, and brighter days certainly ahead for the Pirates.
And we have another fumble here, this time by the Pirates. Are they going to mark him down? He was sitting on the ground when he was hit in the back, and the ball popped loose. But they are going to say that was a fumble. They marked it as a fumble. And it was recovered at the 35-yard line. So they actually gained to the 40. The ball bounced back to the 35 where it was recovered. And you see this as he turns his back. He's sitting on the ground as the ball is knocked out. And he gets a hard hit right in the back. His back should be sore tomorrow after that.
And Jeremy Sturdivant coming in there laying the lumber and forcing that ball loose on that run by Boaz.
Harden goes across the middle. Pass is complete and almost a first down. It's going to be close. So they're going to give him almost to the 45-yard line. And Jaden Hornbuckle on the reception there for another first down for the Pirates.
Hornbuckle again in traffic, catching the ball with both hands in traffic. That is a whole lot harder to do than it looks and than it sounds. But a nice pass that time by Harden, a good connection. And Boaz, maybe not on the long passes, but on the short passes, Harden's got that rhythm now, and they have completed several short passes in a row.
2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Harden goes with a handoff to Perez this time. Perez finds a hole. A little number 31 finding a way all the way down to the 34-yard line. A big first down for Boaz.
21-yard run by Perez, and he is the classic example of, you talk about these little short running backs, and when you're out there at field level, a lot of times those big linemen, and Boaz has got some big ones up there, Sumter Central's got some big defensive linemen, those guys got to get lost. You can't see them, and then all of a sudden he's loose and into the secondary. That's exactly what happened on that play. Some good blocking up there, but then Perez, a lot of times he's into the secondary before you even know he's there.
Perez will stay in the game, running back position, and we are going to have a sideline warning against Sumter Central. Unusual to get a sideline warning in a spring game, but Coach Felder arguing with the referee a little bit, it looks like. Had enough to say to get a sideline warning.
Tony Castaneda down there right in the middle of the action. They may have to give Tony a sideline warning down there before it's over. Tony likes to get in there and mix it up. He does not back down in trying to get the best shots for us down there on the sideline.
Handoff goes to Perez. His forward progress will take him about a yard to the 33-yard line. And that'll bring up second down. And about 8.5, almost 9.
Boaz has been a quick strike offense. They've had some big plays in the game, 2 or 3 big running plays by Collins. This has been more of a methodical 3 yards in a cloud of dust drive here by Boaz.
Second down for the Pirates. Harden rolling to the near side, looks for someone to throw to. He gets it off just outside the 20-yard line. And it's going to take a whole bunch of guys to get Taylor Smith down. And they are going to mark him at the 19-yard line, it looks like.
Harden to Smith, what they call an RPO, run pass option. Just a very classic RPO as he comes to that side, puts the pressure on the defense, makes them commit to either the run or the pass, and then whichever they commit to, he takes the other option. Very hard to defend, especially with a heady young quarterback like Harden and a great wide receiver out there that time. Great play by Taylor Smith to catch that pass.
And one of the referees there took a little tumble at the end of that play as well. He's come to the sideline for a little bit of a water break, it looks like. He's over here on the Sumter Central sideline.
We've been doing these spring jamborees at Jack State for several years now. Carl, I believe this is the hottest day that we've had so far of all that we've had over the last 5 or 6 years. It is it is feeling really like late June out there instead of the middle of May.
Must have fallen on that wrist funny. You see the replay here. And they're going to have a little bit of a timeout to let him recuperate from that. And you'll see him toward the end of the play. And, oh, yeah, he landed on that right wrist, and then the player rolled back on him. So, yeah. So they're going to take a little bit of a timeout to treat that. So let's take a break as well. We'll be back. 3 minutes remaining in second quarter action with Gridiron Challenge.
I'm Chris McIntyre, your district judge. In my 5 years on the bench, I've heard and disposed of over 25,000 felony, misdemeanor, and traffic criminal cases, holding preliminary hearings, sending thousands of criminal defendants to the grand jury for indictment, conducting bench trials, and giving victims their rightful day in court. I'm committed to justice, and I'm committed to making Calhoun County a safer place for my family and for all of you. Please re-elect me, Chris McIntyre, as your district judge on June the 5th.
When it comes to great tasting barbecue, nobody does it better than Dad's Barbecue. Dad's Barbecue is slow cooked to perfection, and Dad's menu now includes burgers, shakes, and delicious cheddar muffins. Large groups are always welcome, and Dad's does catering too. And Dad's offers fast, friendly service, and they're kid-friendly. Dine in or drive through. Dad's Barbecue, family owned since 1985, with 2 locations in Anniston to serve you.
And we're back to the Gridiron Challenge at Jacksonville State University, the Regional Gridiron Challenge. Game number 3, our final game of day 1 of our Gridiron Challenge. We'll have another day coming up next Saturday with several games on tap starting at 11:30 Saturday morning. Boaz going for the strike in the end zone. And he hold on to the ball. Yes, he did. Taylor Smith with the reception and another Boaz touchdown.
Easton Harden and Taylor Smith have something working over there, especially on this right side of the field for the Boaz Pirates. They have connected on about 3 or 4 consecutive passes. Nice route that time by Smith. A nice throw, perfectly thrown pass right there at the highest points. And it looks like that will be a touchdown for Boaz, as they have now put up over 30 points here in just the first half. And looking at instant replay, we'll go ahead and tease you a little bit. Next week, the games we'll have here on TV 24, both Thursday and Friday and Saturday from here at JSU Stadium. Officials were telling me earlier, DVS Sports is going to be coming here. They're going to set up. They'll be plugging, I believe, into our system here at TV 24. And those games next week, we're going to have instant replay. You know, one of the big rule changes.
The referees, yeah, big rule change.
One of the big changes in high school football is the option that schools have to have instant replay. Been a lot of discussion about this in high school football in the offseason. The announcement just made about a month or so ago. A lot of folks talking about that, about how it's going to work, and you know how it's going to feel, how you're going to do it. How's it going to affect the flow of the game? Is it going to make the games longer? Challenges from the coaches, things like that, the technology they're going to use. Well, DVS Sports, that's a company that the Alabama High School Athletic Association has contracted with to provide the instant replay system. They are coming here to JSU Stadium Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they're going to plug in, as I understand it, into our system here, into our cameras here at TV 24. And we're going to have, I guess, the first test of Alabama High School instant replay is going to be here next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
It'll be interesting to see how that system works.
I told some guys earlier, I said, if I was a coach, I would just have a couple of challenges anyway. Just to test it out and see how it's going to work and the timing of it, and to give the officials a chance to work on it. Not every school, we want to make this a point of emphasis. Schools are not required or mandated to participate in this.
And they have to pay for the system themselves. So the schools that have the ability to pay for the system will have it. The ones who don't want to spend the money or can't spend the money will not have it.
Exactly right. And then there's a yearly fee. There's not only the startup fee the first year, but there are some yearly maintenance fees that are there. So it'll be interesting to see, especially this first year, how many schools of the 400 or so that play in the Alabama High School Athletic Association, how many of those elect to have instant replay in year one. And I think, Carl, that will have a big effect on how many sign up for year two.
Yeah.
After they see how it goes, I think if it goes smoothly and it's a good thing in year one, I think you'll see a lot more schools maybe bite the bullet and do that. If it's not very smooth,
yeah.
Instant replay may not last very long in Alabama high school football.
I personally kind of agree with the folks that that are concerned with the time. I'm always concerned with adding time to the game, stopping play. The games have a tendency to be kind of long anyway, and I would prefer finding ways to speed the games up a little bit as opposed to slowing them down anymore. So that's the side I fall on.
Well, one thing is, you have in essence, it probably won't work this way, but in essence, you have an infinite number of challenges, as we have another timeout called here at the 1:29 mark of the half, because a coach can challenge, though there's a red flag or towel that they throw down if they participate, and you can challenge. If you lose the challenge, you get charged a timeout, and you lose that challenge, and you don't have another one. But if you win the challenge, you keep that challenge and you keep that timeout. So the way I understand it is, as long as you keep winning your challenges, you can keep doing it the whole game. So.
Right. And another question, you might can address this as well. You're way more up on these kind of things. But when you see these challenges take place on SEC football, NCAA football, ESPN or whoever's there, they got 30 cameras on the ball, so they can find a good view. At most high school football fields, the lighting is not going to be very good. You might have one 17-year-old student with a camera in the press box, and you're not going to see anything anyway, so you're just kind of wasting the time. So,
Carl, there's a lot of folks that have made those same comments there, because in most situations it's going to be one camera that's up in the press box.
Right.
And you can plug the system into that, but that's going to be the only camera view you have.
Sumter Central on the move here. The handoff. This one goes to number 5, Bernard Turner Jr. It's one of the first times we're going to see him in the game today.
I will say, but of course you get into the financial component of this, there are additional cameras through DVS Sports that schools may purchase. You'll have to do that. But there are even pylon cams, just like you see in the SEC and NFL. There are pylon cams. I guess you could buy, if you're a school, you have the resources, you could buy as many cameras as you want. But the way I understand it is all the cameras, whatever kind of camera you have, the DVS Sports system is able to plug in and manipulate whatever camera you have.
Third down, still 10 to go for the Jaguars here as we wind down the last few seconds of our second quarter of action. And the pass over the right side going to be, looks like it might be enough for a first down. That's Tyshawn Burton on the reception. Turns it upfield, and we'll see where they mark him out. They mark him at the 46-yard line, and that will be a first down for the Jaguars.
Burton's made a pretty good living over there taking those screen passes and turning it upfield and getting some yards just like he did on this play. Certainly Sumter Central with 32 seconds to go here until what is halftime, even though we will not have a halftime. But 32 seconds left in this second quarter. We'll try to get some points on the board as they trail at 33-6 because they had just really had no answer for the Boaz offense here in these first two quarters.
So first down for the Jaguars. And goes into motion. Toss. Fumble at the end of the play. It's still loose. Boaz trying to pick it up. I think they finally fall on it. There's a flag down here at the 44-yard line as well, and that is number 19, Colin Brooks, with the fumble recovery. And again, that was Bernard Turner Jr. on the carry there with the fumble at the very end. And, so Brooks finally decides, instead of trying to pick the ball up and run with it, he needs to just fall on it and hold on to it. We got a holding call against the Jaguars that will be declined. So we have a turnover here with 23 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
And as you saw in the replay there, the ball was definitely out, no question about that. It was a fumble. It will be Boaz football. They've got the ball at the 38-yard line of Sumter Central, 23 seconds to go. I think they've still got a timeout left in their pocket as well. So the way that we have seen Mr. Harden unleash the football the last couple of drives, don't be surprised if Boaz may throw one in the end zone here.
First down for the Pirates. Ball at about the 38-yard line. And we're going to have a flag come in.
Looks like this will go against Boaz, a false start in the interior of the line. That'll back him up 5, back outside the 40.
John, going back to the instant replay stuff there are limits on what kind of plays can be reviewed. Tell us about that.
Well, those you got things like whether it's a touchdown, where the ball should be placed, where they broke the play in the goal line, things like fumbles, interceptions, a player caught the ball, dropped the ball. But those judgment calls, things like pass interference, holding, face mask, those kind of things, those are not for review.
Nice strike over the middle for Boaz as Harden finds Carson Chamblee again. And with 16 seconds on the clock, they got to move fast to get down there. The ball goes, they're going to put that at the 10-yard line, maybe 9-yard line. So first and goal for Boaz.
Sumter Central trying to get players on and off the field at the very last moment. They finally get the substitutions. And right now, Sumter really only has one middle linebacker, one linebacker on the field right now.
And there we go, another touchdown for Boaz with a handoff to Christian Collins. And he finds the end zone yet again here. 7 seconds remaining in second quarter action.
I noticed that Boaz had one linebacker on the field, and I think Jeremy Sullivan noticed that they had one linebacker on the field because they ran right up the middle, and Sumter had no one there. Easy touchdown again. What's that, 4th touchdown of the game, I think, for Mr. Collins of Boaz.
The extra point will be attempted by Kylan Hornbuckle again. No rush. And he puts it through the uprights for a successful point after. And Boaz takes a 40-6 lead over Sumter Central. As we have about 7 seconds remaining in this quarter of action. Now we won't have, as we mentioned, we will not have a full halftime. We'll simply take a regular 2-minute break between second and third quarter, and then go right into the third quarter of play. Then our fourth quarter will be 12 minutes, but it will be a running clock. It'll run without stopping through the end of the game.
This was a very competitive game at the end of the first quarter. Boaz led 12-6, but this second quarter has been all Pirates. 28 unanswered points by Boaz just here in this second quarter.
So have a look at the sidelines there for the Jaguars. Coach Felder talking to his guys. They'll have the ball on offense. Time for one play. If they're going to attempt it or just take a knee and wind the clock down.
And again, stick right here with us because there will not be a halftime. Carl Brady will not put on a show here at halftime. We do not have a halftime show. We'll go right into quarter number 3.
So here's Sumter Central. Millsap going long, taking that long strike, and it's going to be intercepted yet again. Jaquez Kelly, number 11, with the interception, takes us to the end of the quarter and to what would be halftime if we were going to have a halftime. But we're just going to take a 2-minute break, let the guys rest for a minute, get some water, and put them right back out there to wrap up the second half of this game. You are watching the TV24 Regional Gridiron Challenge, the final game of day number 1. It's brought to you in part by Dunn's Heating and Cooling in Jacksonville. We'll be back to Jacksonville State University in a moment.
I got back my smack talk touchdown, hole-in-one, three-point home run, hat-trick pavement pounding, record-setting goal across the finish line. Because Core didn't give up, I didn't give up. And I certainly didn't give in. I'm gonna get back to doing what I love. I'm gonna get back to winning.
Buster Miles Chevrolet started in 1952 in Heflin. It makes me feel great to know that my dad started something very special.
He wanted to give back where there was a need, and he never knew a day that there wasn't someone in need.
If someone broke down in a tough spot on a Sunday, he might get a call somehow, from a customer saying, hey, so-and-so's broken down. He would go out of his way to help them. We didn't manufacture this reputation. We earned it over the years. It's about service and being able to trust. We feel like we offer a superior product.
We are blending the immediacy and the needs of the now with this salt-of-the-earth small business mindset and just work ethic that was very simple. And it was around believing in something bigger than oneself, and that working that vision together, we could be larger than life.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99 and then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 75 years.
And we are back to JSU, Jacksonville State University, JSU Stadium, and Burgess Snow Field. They're taking a little longer than 2 minutes here. I guess it's so hot down there. Somebody going to give them a little extra time to to rest a little bit, because, again, we are looking at a very hot day. If you folks haven't been outside, if you're watching on TV, it is 90 degrees in Jacksonville right now. And we can tell you from experience of being down there on that turf field, it's at least 100. And I was talking to some of the referees after the first game, and they were talking about how the bottoms of their feet were burning, even through their shoes, because the turf gets so hot. And I know what they're talking about, having been down on the field numerous times for different ceremonies and things through all the years here with JSU. That turf was one of the first things we noticed when it was first installed all those years ago. The first it was a J-Day game or something. We had some special ceremony down there, and we were down there in dress shoes and dress pants, and we were burning up, and the heat on the turf was just incredible coming through the bottom of the shoes.
Well, Carl, there's nothing to absorb on a grass field. You may have had some rain and so forth, and you could have had basically, there's the officials down there as we talk about. They may be the ones getting the most rest out of this. But, in a grass situation, there's a moisture content level to the grass. There's a lot of the heat gets absorbed into that grass, into the dirt and into the grass and so forth. And it takes a while for grass to heat up. Here, where there's nothing, basically you got cement under this, and then you got the turf that's down under this. There's nothing to soak the heat up, so it's immediately right there at the surface. And it adds about 10 to 15, sometimes on a brutally hot July day, can add 20 degrees to the temperature when you're right there on the field, on the surface. And that's what these officials that we just saw and these teams, as we take a look here at Boaz and their huddle over there, that's exactly, Carl, what you were talking about. That's exactly what they're experiencing. I have no doubt that if we had a thermometer down at field level, we'd be at over 100 degrees right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the referees who have worked these games today are friends of ours. They're our age, so they're probably suffering a little more than these kids are. I know I would be if I was down there.
And there's not much of a breeze, a little west breeze, southwest breeze. We can see the flags over there in front of the field house. Just a slight breeze, maybe 5-10 miles per hour. The only good thing about this is that, one, we don't have, two good things. One, there's no storms coming. It's going to be a dry day, so we don't have to worry about rain delays like we had here last year in storms. But then also, you're in one of those situations where there's no humidity really. This is kind of dry. We're not into the time of year yet where we got a lot of humidity. That's going to change next week. But this is relatively something we don't see in Alabama much, a dry heat. So the humidity is not bad out there. It's just the air temperature is pretty tough out there this afternoon.
And they're calling the players back out onto the field. Boaz back out on the field, ready to play, still waiting on the Jaguars to come out of their huddle.
And we are already, we're seeing this, we'll see with Sumter Central here, but I can tell you right now, we're already seeing on the Boaz side wholesale substitutions there. They got some new guys in there, some starters in there, but there's some new guys being sprinkled in as we move through the third quarter, and especially as we get into the fourth quarter, we'll see more and more of the younger guys getting some playing time. Those young guys that maybe the coaches want to see, well, how are they going to react when the lights are on, when they're playing somebody else, when they're out there and it's not a scrimmage and they're out there playing in a real game. So they'll get a taste of that here in this third and fourth quarter.
So we are about ready to come back to action here. And we'll start off with Sumter Central on offense. And the first thing they try to do, they've had 5 minutes to get it right, and the first thing they try to do is call a timeout as soon as the whistle is blown. First down at the 35-yard line for the Jaguars. Fake the toss and the inside handoff, and that turns out to be a nice play for the Jaguars, and that is going to go all the way. That is going to go all the way to the end zone. Derek Hines on the carry.
Derek Hines, nicely designed play by Shannon Felder and his offensive guys there as they fake the toss sweep, which they've been running a lot of the toss sweep. They fake the toss there, come back with an inside handoff, almost a reverse Statue of Liberty coming the other way, and there was nobody there for Boaz. An easy touchdown run for number one, Derek Hines, 65 yards in one play, first play of the third quarter, and Sumter Central back on the board.
Maybe that trying to call timeout as soon as the whistle was blown was just kind of a decoy, kind of catch Boaz napping a little bit. Well, the officials are calling a timeout.
And they're talking to one of the Sumter Central players. Maybe an equipment problem there.
Yeah, there's something to do with his jersey, I believe. That's
Dwayne Ruffin.
Yeah.
Coming to the sideline.
So they're going to replace him with Bernard Turner Jr. And they're going to go for the two-point conversion. Millsap with a handoff, but running back is going to be stopped. Tyshawn Burton, I believe, got the call there, and that's him. And he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. The two-point conversion will be no good as we look at the touchdown again here in a second. Nice long run there.
I just like the play design. Very well executed. Fake the toss sweep. Or inside handoff in the belly of the receiver coming around. And then he takes it to the house. Nice job blocking up front. Obviously, he's loose in the secondary and sprints to the end zone, 65 yards for the Sumter Central touchdown. One play, 65 yards. And that's pretty much it for Sumter Central. They're back on the board to cut it down to 40-12 here early in the third.
No kickoffs, so we'll give the ball to Boaz on their own 35-yard line. Harden still in and overthrows his intended receiver. That was Taylor Smith. Smith was held up by the defense there.
Nice battle over there between probably the best wide receiver for Boaz, Taylor Smith, and probably the best DB for Sumter Central and Aaron Alston. Battling over there. Nice little battle here on the near boundary.
John, one of the interesting facts about the turf that people may not understand is all those little teeny tiny bits of rubber, the little rubber BBs that make up the quote dirt part, gets in your shoes.
It does.
Even if you're just walking across the thing, it gets in your shoes and can be very annoying. So I can't imagine with the players out here and how they handle that.
One thing, too, that's great about these turf systems, when you do have rain and you do have storms, they can pump like 3 inches of rain an hour off of this field, and within just a few minutes, they can be completely dry. And that is certainly something that you certainly do not see on a grass field. They got great drainage systems underneath these. And so you can have one of those huge rains where it rains 3 inches an hour, just unbelievable rainfall amounts, and within about 30 minutes, it's out of here, and you didn't even know it even happened.
That's right. 3rd down and 9 for Boaz after the handoff to Perez. Harden moving to his left this time. And gets the pass off. It's enough for a 1st down out to the 49-yard line. And I believe that's Jaden Hornbuckle. Again, there's that play where Harden is running upfield. And there's a good look at the turf. You can see some of those little pellets popping up there a little bit as they're showing you what those pellets are like.
I think you can actually see the heat right there. That is Tony Castaneda doing a good job down there. If he's down his knee, that knee's probably hot. I felt that about an hour ago with my hand, and it was almost like putting, not a hot stove, but it was almost like putting your hand on a warm stove, a stove that has maybe been on and you go back in about 5 minutes later and it's still warm to the touch. That's the way that turf feels, and it's pretty warm down there.
2nd down and 9, right at midfield for the Boaz Pirates. Harden with Perez in the backfield. Harden looking to throw again. Got a man cutting across the middle, but it's going to be intercepted by the Jaguars. And intercepted, that is number 8, Chris Millsap, helping himself out a little bit on defense.
Quarterback with an interception. One of the few mistakes we have seen by Harden. Threw into double coverage. 2 black jerseys there, a little bit high on that, over the head of his receiver, and a nice play on the ball by Millsap as a quarterback playing safety comes over and makes the interception. So here comes Sumter Central. Scored on the first play of this half, and now here they come again. 8:47 still to go here in the 3rd, and they got the ball back again. Pretty decent field position at their own 29.
So 1st down at the 29-yard line for the Jaguars. Millsap goes under center. Burton in motion. Toss to Burton. He cuts it up across the line of scrimmage, so gain out to the 33-yard line. A 4-yard gain on that play. Make it 2nd down and 6.
And delayed toss sweep. You want to see the quarterback, and he's not made many mistakes either, Millsap, but you want to get that ball out there a little bit quicker. The running back had to wait on the football to come to him. You don't want that to happen. You want to get that ball out in front of him. He's not having to reach back to get it. You want that play to happen really fast. You want to take that pitch and get it out there and get it into the running back's hands on the run so he can get to that corner as quickly as possible. We'll have another penalty here whistled against Sumter Central. Take it back inside the 25 to the 24.
That'll take us back to 1st down. 1st and 15 now for the Jaguars. Millsap fakes the toss, throws it over the middle, almost intercepted. The ball is tipped to the intended receiver.
Intended for number 6, Nelson.
Can't make out the number from here.
That was number 6, Deion Nelson that time. And again, they're working off the base play being the toss sweep. He faked the toss sweep, and then this time, instead of a handoff, he had a very sharp pass across the middle. The play was there. The receiver, Nelson, was wide open. Millsap throwing it behind the receiver, though, or that would have been another big game, probably for a 1st down for Sumter Central.
2nd and 15 for Jaguars. Hand off to Ruffin. He'll gain to the 27-yard line for a 3-yard pickup.
Might we see another bomb coming from Millsap here? He has shown the ability to really be able to uncork one, so let's see what they do here on 3rd down and about 12.
Ruffin loses his helmet in the process, so he's going to have to come off for a play. Derek Hines will take his place. Third down, still 12 to go for Sumter Central. Millsap under center, and we're going to have a timeout. It looks like called by the Jaguars, by Coach Felder over here on the sidelines. We're going to take the timeout with them. We'll be back to continue with the Gridiron Challenge on TV 24.
I'm Marilyn Hudson. I'm running for District Judge. I'm a Christian grandmother, mother, and wife. I want to bring Christian family values back to the family court. Together with my husband, we raised our children as Christians and taught them the meaning of family. We lived every aspect of our life celebrating the true meaning of Christian family values. I can bring those values to the family court and help the folks who find themselves there. Please elect me, Marilyn Hudson, your district judge.
Hi, my name is Reverend Jeffrey C. Williams, the owner and licensed funeral director of Anderson Funeral Services. At Anderson Funeral Services, we are compassionate and caring individuals committed to providing quality and professional service at affordable prices. We are where service begins and never ends, and love is what love does.
Aniston Funeral Services offers affordable services to meet any need for all families. Aniston Funeral Services, 630 South Wilmer Avenue, where service begins and never ends.
As we come back, it's third down for the Jaguars, and you see Millsap taking it himself. And he'll make it up to the 37-yard line. So he'll be about 2 yards shy of his first down, with 4th and 2. And in a spring game, we might see him go for it.
Boaz has done a pretty good job as far as the legs of Millsap controlling him. They really haven't let him get loose on any big runs. That was one of the better runs that Millsap has had. But they've eliminated him getting to the outside and breaking loose for that long run. 4th down and 2, though, I would put the ball in Millsap's hands right here.
And they are going to go for it. They're going to put Millsap under center again. And goes into motion. Millsap with the pass. And he gets up to the 40-yard line. That will be a first down. Good job of the receiver there, number 5, who was in motion, Bernard Turner Jr., making sure he got past the 40-yard line, or got past the first down marker before he turned and looked for the pass.
Nice throw and catch from Millsap. Turner keeps the drive alive. First down for Sumter Central. Keep in mind, we'll have a mid-quarter heat timeout coming up in about a minute and a half or so, maybe 2 minutes. And then we will also have a running clock here in quarter number 4.
First down for the Jaguars. And the officials blow the whistle again. Another little problem here somewhere. And they are sending Tyshawn Burton to the sidelines. Something to do. He's got some, maybe some blood on his knee or something like that, I believe.
I think so. There's a blood rule that if there's any open wounds and blood is oozing out of there, you have to come out of the game for safety reasons.
Sam Gully going in his place.
Gully, we called his name a lot as a linebacker, but we haven't seen him on offense. So see what they do with him here, lined up as the single back.
There's that toss we've been seeing so much of.
Pitch to number 1.
That's going to be Tyshawn Burton. I'm sorry, that's not Burton. That's Hines. Derek Hines on the carry. Play's going to gain about 3 yards to the 43-yard line for second down and 7 now.
And we got another stoppage in play, another official timeout. This will be mid-quarter.
This is going to be the heat break.
6 minutes, yes.
As we are looking at, we've talked all day long about how hot it is out there. So taking a heat break and a water break for the players on the field. We'll take it with them and be back in just a moment.
Buster Miles Chevrolet started in 1952 in Heflin. It makes me feel great to know that my dad started something very special.
He wanted to give back where there was a need, and he never knew a day that there wasn't someone in need.
If someone broke down in a tough spot on a Sunday, he might get a call somehow, from a customer saying, hey, so-and-so's broken down. He would go out of his way to help them. We didn't manufacture this reputation. We earned it over the years. It's about service and being able to trust. We feel like we offer a superior product.
We are blending the immediacy and the needs of the now with this salt-of-the-earth small business mindset and just work ethic that was very simple. And it was around believing in something bigger than oneself, and that working that vision together, we could be larger than life.
Back to action here at the Gridiron Challenge, game number 3. Our final game for the day and day number 1 of our Gridiron Challenge. We're in the third quarter here between Boaz and Sumter Central. A little problem there with the communication and the handoff. As you can see, Millsap not really happy with the way that one turned out. There's a loss on the play back to the near the 43-yard line.
We've seen a lot of plays here in the second half from Sumter Central basing off that toss sweep. That one had a little bit too many moving parts. We saw one where they faked the toss sweep, an inside handoff, faked the toss sweep, and then they threw a slant pass. That one they faked the toss sweep, faked an inside handoff, faked an outside handoff, and then we're going to hand it off a third time, and just too time consuming, and Boaz was coming and snuffed that one out.
Third down about 12 and a half for the Jaguars. Millsap with the give to number 5. And he'll twist and turn his way out to about the 42-yard line. And we have an indication of a fumble. We're going to see.
It's going to remain.
It's going to remain with the Jaguars there.
Fourth down, we'll see. On fourth down and about 8, Sumter Central will do the simulated punt. Haven't been a lot of simulated punts in this game because we've had either touchdowns or we've had turnovers. And that's kind of been the score of this game. It's been either the feast or famine. It's been touchdowns or turnovers, not much in between.
Well, it looks like they are going to go for it here on their fourth down instead of doing the simulated punt. Millsap under center, Ruffin behind him. Burton in motion. Millsap looks to throw to somebody. Nobody to throw it to. He's going to be caught back at the 32-yard line and taken down. And they'll turn it over on downs to Boaz.
Nice job by that Boaz defensive front. Coaches preach all the time, never give up. You keep coming, because you never know what's going to happen. Folks like Walt Williams coming in there, Junior Langford. Watch these guys. Just never quit, never quit. They keep coming. And they get the big sack for a loss all the way back down at the 30-yard line. So huge play, good persistence there by that defensive front of Boaz.
So the Pirates will take over at the Jaguar 32-yard line. And now they are sending Taylor Smith from Boaz to the sidelines. That'll bring out Trey Ritchie to replace him. First down for the Pirates. Harden with a pass to the 22-yard line. It is complete to Chandler Ernest.
He's thrown some touchdown passes today, some long passes, some of those RPO passes. That one, by my estimation, may have been the best throw he's made all day. It was an 11-yard completion, but that was a nice throw. A lot of traffic there. Good coverage by Sumter Central, and he threw it right in there, had a couple of receivers to go to. Spotted one, picked him out, and that was a very nice throw. We're seeing Harden get better as this game goes along.
First down at the 21-yard line. His touch is getting better. He's controlling his speed, his placement. And Perez gets the handoff here, and this little man is hard to take down. He's carrying the whole crowd with him. And he's going to go down to about the 8-yard line to make it 1st and goal for the Boaz Pirates.
I'm going to make a prediction that this Friday night, not this Friday, but Friday night's coming up this fall at Dr. Corley Stadium. They call it the Ship up in Boaz, the Pirate Ship. I think Anibal Perez is going to be a fan favorite up in Boaz.
I believe so.
I think a lot of folks are going to get an extra yell in for that guy when he carries the football. He's a dynamic player, about 5'5", 5'6", number 31, lined up in the backfield as the single back behind Harden.
He gets the call again, but this time he will go down at the 10-yard line, take a little bit of a loss. He'll go right at the line of scrimmage, and for the Jaguars, that's number 32, Sam Gully, calling his name again and coming up and making the tackle.
Seems like Gully is around the football on every play for Sumter Central. Makes another nice open field tackle on Perez.
Down to about a minute left in this 3rd quarter. 2nd and goal for the Pirates from the 10-yard line. Just gives it to Perez again. This time he goes over the right side of the line and gets down to the 7.
Gain of 3 yards.
I'm really amazed by the conditioning that we've seen from all 6 teams here today at JSU Stadium. As I mentioned earlier, Carl, I really thought we were going to have a lot of problems with the heat, with dehydration and cramps and things like that, heat-related problems. And, you know, to my knowledge, we just haven't really seen any of that here this afternoon, which this is amazing and a credit to these coaches and how well conditioned they have these athletes and the precautions they're taking, the fluids they're getting in them, and all the things that they do even before they get here to prepare players to play in heat like this. It's been really impressive.
Have a flag against the Pirates there as they had spread everybody out. Nobody in the backfield with Harden. All the wide receivers, about 5 wide receivers spread out all across the field there. And one of those guys lined up wrong or moved wrong, and it cost a 5-yard penalty. So 1st and goal now from the 12-yard line for Boaz. Same thing, and got a little open spot there. It's an incomplete pass, though, right there at the goal line.
Taylor Smith almost made the best catch of the day. Very nearly snagged that in about the 1-yard line. Again, the throw was right on the money and heavy traffic over there as Harden is just throwing lasers right now for Boaz.
4th and goal at the 12-yard line, and only 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. We'll go to the 4th quarter where we'll have a running clock. Harden alone in the backfield, 3 wideouts to the far side, 2 to the near side. He's looking for somebody in the end zone and goes over again. Doesn't make it to the end zone, though. And it'll go out at the 5-yard line.
Pass complete.
And that will be a turnover on downs. Sumter Central will take it at the 5-yard line.
But again, another nice throw and catch from Harden to Smith as they will run out the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Here at JSU Stadium, 1 more to go.
1 more to go. We'll take a quick break and come back with the final 12 minutes of this matchup here, the Gridiron Challenge.
At Family Health and Wellness Center in Oxford, we treat you like family.
Their appointments are always available. I never feel rushed or like I'm bothering them if I call, and Dr. Edmond is just always happy to see every patient.
It ain't like you go in some of these others, you go in there and don't know what doctor you're gonna get to see. This is the doctor when you come, this is the man you will see.
I wouldn't go anywhere else. There's nobody else I trust.
Family Health and Wellness Center in Oxford. One visit and you'll know you're a member of the family.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you know that washing your car in the driveway actually pollutes water that you and your family use?
I didn't know that.
It does. In fact, when you wash your car, the soapy water runs down your driveway, goes into the street carrying pollutants, and that often finds its way to creeks and ponds.
What can I do?
One thing you can do is take your car and wash it on your lawn, or better yet, take it to a car wash, because water there is treated by a wastewater treatment plant. Because remember, it takes a community to keep our water clean.
And we are back to the Regional Gridiron Challenge, getting ready for the final quarter of day 1 action here at Jacksonville State University, JSU Stadium. And Burgess Snow Field. A beautiful, beautiful sunny, hot May afternoon for the Gridiron Challenge today. Again, this is the final of 3 games today. We had Hartley and Tarrant up earlier on today. Haralson County from Georgia and Abbeville. Sumter Central and Boaz right now. We'll return next Saturday with more of the Gridiron Challenge with several teams from around the state of Alabama coming here to play. That'll start at 11:30 on Saturday. And in between now and next Saturday, we also have the Calhoun County Spring Jam, and that will be games on Thursday and Friday nights here at Jacksonville State University. And John, you have a starting time on those for Thursday and Friday?
We're going to do 4:30 and 7. So 4:30 and 7 both Thursday and Friday. Those will be whole games. There will be halftime in those games. They'll play full 12-minute quarters. The last quarter, I do believe, is going to be reserved for JVs. I think that's the way we've done it in the past several years, is junior varsity only in the third quarter. And it seems like, I'm not sure on this, but it seems like that may be a running clock in the fourth quarter, just like this one is as well.
Yeah, so you'll notice the clock in the corner of your screen will continue running throughout almost everything that happens in this quarter. So it'll be a straight, they're putting 11 minutes on the clock instead of 12 right now.
I noticed that.
Sumter Central is on offense. First down at their own 5-yard line, deep in a hole here. But it's a good hole to be in because they were able to stop Boaz from scoring after a first and goal.
Boaz especially really bringing in the younger guys now. They've taken their starters out for this fourth quarter. That seems to be the formula when you have 12-minute full quarters, a full game, is that both teams usually agree to bring the younger guys in and take the starters out when you get to the fourth quarter. And I think that's what we're seeing here. A lot of new numbers in the game for both Sumter Central and Boaz.
We're seeing how they line up here. We have number 35 quarterbacking. The handoff there to 21. And these are all numbers that we do not have on our roster for Sumter Central. We only had, they only sent us a partial list of numbers. They have a bunch of kids with no numbers beside them. So we really don't know who to tell you some of these guys are.
What a running clock means, unless there's a timeout called and both teams have just one in this quarter, or the mid-quarter heat timeout, that will be the only time that the clock will stop. We won't stop for a player going out of bounds. There won't be a stop for an incomplete pass. There won't be a stop for a change of possession. Even here, where we've got the officials calling an official timeout for the chain gangs and things like that, which we're having some problems over there.
Still haven't quite got the chain gang
won't
straight
stop
over
for
there.
any of that. Yeah, only a called timeout by both teams in the heat timeout. Otherwise, the clock is going to roll. Great experience, though, Carl. You know, these young guys, a lot of these are going to be the guys that are maybe in the 8th grade, 8th, 9th graders, 10th graders, young guys
out there.
To come out here and say that they got to play in a college stadium and play on turf and play on television and see themselves on the big screen here. And that's pretty good stuff. That's one of the great things about this event.
So I believe we are looking at 4th down here for the Jaguars. And we'll do the simulated punt of 35 yards, and that'll put the ball up on the 45-yard line for Boaz.
So Boaz's second team offense, if they are as efficient as the first team was. You know, Carl, you talked about it in the first couple of games. We haven't talked about it in this game, so we may have some Boaz and Sumter Central and some other folks that have not been watching all day long just joining us. This is everybody around East Alabama. If you live in Calhoun County, you probably have ridden through Jacksonville since the tornado. But this perspective I didn't have. I'm sitting here in this press box and looking out over the campus to the north. We're sitting here to the south, northward facing toward where the path of the tornado is. And it's still amazing to me to even see like First Baptist Church of Jacksonville over there. Used to not could see that at all.
Trees all over there. You couldn't see that.
It's mind blowing to see the path of the tornado that was here on March 19th.
Seeing the damage on top of some of the buildings still being worked on. There's workers over there as we speak, working all throughout the campus. Where 50 of the 71 buildings on campus had some kind of damage, some very severe, some of them completely destroyed. There you see Houston Cole Library at the top of the library and some of the work going on up there. But where we are in the press box, we're six floors high, so it's a different perspective than you see from the ground.
And this is just a sampling. What we're seeing here is really not anything compared to the devastation in some parts of the city of Jacksonville up to the north here, parts we can't see from the stadium, back on the north edge of campus, back in some of the neighborhoods back behind the First Baptist Church of Jacksonville. It's pretty incredible over there. That's where you get into buildings that were heavily damaged, if not destroyed. And the landscape here, the tree damage, probably, if you rode through Jacksonville previous to March 19th and then rode through afterwards, the tree damage, I think, is going to be the big takeaway that people are going to notice for years and years to come.
Yeah, you're going to really notice that. Eli Jacobs in at quarterback. For Boaz, he's going to be pushed out of bounds over there at about the 39-yard line maybe, or they're going to back it up to the 41. He'll lose a little bit on that play. That'll bring up 4th down for Boaz. Again, as we're seeing a lot of the younger guys coming in, a lot of freshmen or upcoming freshmen. So some of these guys are still, like you said, still 8th graders right now for another 2 or 3 weeks.
That is, some of these guys are maybe 14 years old, maybe some still 13 years old that are out here playing in this, because Boaz has, I guess this bodes well for Jeremy Sullivan and his staff. This is a lot of 9th graders, upcoming 9th graders on this Boaz roster.
And Boaz goes for it on 4th down and is unsuccessful, so we'll turn it over, turn things over back over to the Jaguars. Speaking of the Tornadoes, and we want to remind everybody again that the tornado recovery after something as devastating as these major tornadoes is a long-term proposition. You know, they get in the initial days right after the tornado, they're inundated with volunteers coming in to help. And then those volunteers slowly dwindle and fade away, and there's still recovery efforts. Here we are 6 weeks out from it now, but this is going to be 6 months from now and 6 years from now. There's still going to be recovery efforts going on, so people need to keep that in mind. And when they have the opportunity to come spend some time in Jacksonville or Southside or Rainbow City where the tornadoes came through, or any of the areas, Ohatchee, anywhere that was affected by the tornadoes, they will need volunteers for the foreseeable future to help with different projects. FEMA is in town. They have disaster relief centers opened up in all of the counties that were affected by the tornadoes, so you can go by the disaster relief centers and volunteer there. You'll find volunteer sign-up information where you can volunteer and learn what work needs to be done in the community.
Well, they're trying to have a heat timeout, and they finally got the clock stopped at 4:31. Ran for a few more seconds. But we do have that mid-quarter heat timeout. And while we're talking about that, we'll take it to break.
Historic Banning Mills is the largest and longest zipline canopy adventure in the world. It's located in your own backyard near Carrollton, Georgia. Historic Banning Mills offers over 9 miles of courses, 52 sky bridges, and over 90 different zip lines, soaring at speeds of up to 60 miles per hour and up to 3,400 feet in length. Most everyone in the family can participate, even the little ones. If that's not enough, climb the Guinness World Record's tallest freestanding rock climbing wall at 14 stories high. Historic Banning Mills also offers horseback riding, kayaking, GPS adventures, birds of prey shows, and much more. So much that you can't fit it all in one day. So stay the night or the whole weekend at their Country Inn Lodge or rent a cabin. Don't take your family, friends, or company retreat just anywhere. Make it unforgettable at Historic Banning Mills.
We're back to JSU Stadium, and the Gridiron Challenge had We were talking about tornado damage. There's some repair work and some work going on in one of the apartment complexes that we can see from the stadium area here. And there is one of our production trucks that was completely destroyed, completely totaled by trees falling on it over here on campus. So we're happy just to be able to bring the games to you live after the tornadoes come through.
Yeah, that was the truck that we normally would be using. And it was a very nice truck, and that was a devastating loss as far as equipment goes to our Communication and Television Services Department here at JSU.
A flag on the play here for the Jaguars.
Carl, you mentioned 6 months down the road, and less time than that, right around, I guess, 6 months or so or less. There will be an event here, a big benefit concert that'll be right here with Alabama, Charlie Daniels Band, Jamie Johnson, Riley Green. They promise a lot of other big stars, some surprises that are going to be coming in here that they're going to have during the Wednesday night of homecoming week in September, where they're going to raise money and give all the proceeds to recovery efforts here at Jacksonville. That's going to be huge because, you know, Alabama's kind of sort of retired, so there's not many opportunities to see them
anymore. And then and this will be the first time they've ever played at JSU, even with all the close connections Alabama has with JSU. Randy being on the board of trustees and them being students at JSU in their younger years, all the close connections. This will be the first time they've played a concert at JSU. An incomplete pass there down on the field. The date on that is September 26th. And, John, as a matter of fact, I already have tickets for that. The tickets went on sale last week, I believe, or in the last couple of weeks. And so we already have our tickets ready to go.
I think those tickets, pretty reasonable, too. $25?
Something like that, yeah. So that's going to be an exciting night. You put Alabama up there with Charlie Daniels and Jamie Johnson, Riley Green, and with all the connections Alabama has over the past 30 years as in the country music business and all the June jams that they used to have and things like that, there is no telling who's liable to show up for that concert that night.
Shenandoah already signed up to come. I think they're coming, yeah. Nice looking athlete there. We've seen a couple of good runs there from Gridiron Walker, a sophomore from Sumter Central. Nice run there, crossing midfield as we are just about a minute and a half away from this being over. I believe we're going to have Chase Robinson tracking down Shannon Felder from Sumter Central and Jeremy Sullivan from Boaz in the post game. Get their thoughts on the afternoon.
And again, if you're wondering here the last few minutes, we haven't been calling out the names and numbers for Sumter Central, and that's because they did not give us a complete roster of numbers and names. So these younger guys are in there in this fourth quarter, and we can't tell you who they are because we don't have the numbers, and there's going to be an offsides against Boaz right there.
After they mark this off, probably only going to be time for one more play. You know, Sumter Central roster, we got names and we got grades, but there's a bunch of them that we don't have any jersey numbers, and that's the most important thing. Can't do a whole lot with that other information. Have a false start on Sumter Central.
They decided to stop the clock here at the end to allow them time to mark off this penalty. We'll come back to play with 49 seconds to go in the game. First and 15 for the Jaguars. High snap, and the quarterback is going to fall down there. Under other circumstances, there might have been a penalty there, or hitting the guy after he was down. This is not the pros where you can fall down without being hit and get up and go again. So once he's down, he's down.
63, A.J. Evans coming in.
Are they going to get a playoff? Nope, they're not. And that is going to wrap up the game. Our final score, 40-12, Boaz over Sumter Central. And we're going to go to the field in just a minute as Chase Robinson gathers up the coaches to have a little post-game chat, see what they thought about the spring game and what they identified that they are going to have to work on when they get back to action later on. Over the summertime, there's going to be summer workouts, as we talked about. There's going to be opportunities for 7-on-7 camps, passing camps, things like that. How much teaching and work can they actually do during the summer? Can they have team meetings? Can they go over, walk them in, get in the gym and walk them through plays or anything like that? What are the rules about that kind of stuff, John?
They can't meet all summer long. There's a specified amount of time that they have during the summer where they are allowed to have team camps and things like that, go to a team camp or a lineman camp or a 7-on-7 event or something like that. So there are certain parameters that they have, but there's a lot more than there used to be. It used to be that the start of high school football season, that first Monday in August, was always a big deal because that was the first time that they could really have any kind of, no 7-on-7s and team camps and things like that to go to. That was the first time you could really go and really get some work done was in that 1st of August. But times have changed. They're working almost all summer now.
All right, we're going to go down to the field. Chase Robinson has our head coaches.
Thanks, guys. I got both head coaches. We're going to start with Coach Felder, Sumter Central head coach. First of all, talk about the spring and how it's been going for y'all over at Sumter Central.
Well, we've made a lot of progress from last year. I was pleased with our guys' effort, and we've got a lot of stuff to work on, but I saw a lot of things that we've improved on since we started spring training, and I saw a lot of things that that we got to work on to get better as far as we moving towards the fall season. But overall, I'm pleased with our effort. I'm pleased with the kids' overall attitude, and I think we're moving everything in the right direction.
Talk about playing in this game, this atmosphere, playing a team like Boaz, and how that's going to help you coming up in the fall.
Well, I mean, I knew the coach had a good team. I know Coach's team is well coached, well disciplined. I wanted to play against a team that I felt like would give us a good idea of where we are and where we need to be, and I think we got that. Those guys play hard. Those guys, a lot of team chemistry with those guys. Those are the things that we have to work on and improve on with our team. But again, from an overall standpoint, I'm pleased with our guys' effort. I'm pleased with our guys' focus, and I think we got everything working in the right direction. We just got to keep working hard and try to get better.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck next season. All right. Coach Sullivan from Boaz High School. For you, how's spring been going over at Boaz?
I think it went pretty good. We've come a long way from last year. We still got a long way to go, but kids have worked hard. I've been pleased with it.
Talk about this game today, what you saw from your guys, what you want to improve on, especially over the summer.
Well, we wanted to see an opponent that was fast and had some speed and some athleticism, and of course that's what we got. We got to do a better job on defense, not giving up big plays. 2 plays is what they really scored on. Thought other than that, we played a lot better on defense than we did last year. Offensively, just little execution things down in the red zone especially, and I thought our offense performed pretty well. Our running back did a really good job. He had a great day.
Talk about this experience for your guys playing at this field and getting a spring game like this. What it's gonna do to y'all guys?
Well, Coach Felder does a great job with organizing this event. We came last year, really enjoyed it. It's really a good reward for our kids to get to play in an atmosphere like this and College Stadium. Of course, it's special to me because I've played so many games here and coached so many games here that it's like coming home for me. So it's something that we really enjoy doing, and we've kind of made a part of what we do.
Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck next season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chase Robinson, as we get ready to wrap up our coverage from Jacksonville State University. Day 1 of the 2018 Regional Gridiron Challenge is in the books. Now, we'll be back on Thursday afternoon at 4:30, Friday afternoon at 4:30, and then at 11:30 on next Saturday for more high school football spring jamboree action, the Calhoun County Spring Jam on Thursday and Friday, and more of the Regional Gridiron Challenge next Saturday. So a lot of stuff going on. Thanks for joining us with TV 24.
For great food and great service and a great atmosphere, come and see us at Top of the River in Anniston. At Top of the River, all of our products are prepared fresh daily with our own special recipes, including our farm-raised, grain-fed catfish. Large groups and private groups from 50 to 250 are welcome, and reservations are accepted 7 days a week. And ask about our full on-site catering, family-owned and operated since 1982, and always kid-friendly. Top of the River in Anniston.
For a high-flying adventure of a lifetime, visit the new Screaming Eagle Zipline Canopy Tour and Aerial Adventure Park at Lake Guntersville State Park. Fly above and through the treetops at heights up to 250 feet on Alabama's largest high-speed zipline course. The Screaming Eagle is a safe and family-friendly adventure course that allows you to explore Lake Guntersville State Park from the point of view of the park's famous bald eagles and enjoy amazing views of Lake Guntersville. Book your aerial adventure tour today by calling 256-886-2517 or book online at LakeGuntersvilleZipline.com.
Hi, my name is Reverend Jeffrey C. Williams, the owner and licensed funeral director of Anderson Funeral Services. At Anderson Funeral Services, we are compassionate and caring individuals committed providing quality and professional service at affordable prices. We are where service begins and never ends, and love is what love does.
Anniston Funeral Services offers affordable services to meet any need for all families. Anniston Funeral Services, 630 South Wilmer Avenue, where service begins and never ends.
Choccolocco Park is gearing up for yet another record-breaking year. High school baseball and softball, soccer tournaments, track and field and cross country, and collegiate championships are just a few of the things that'll be coming soon. Jacksonville State will play their home baseball games at our signature field, and our kayaking and canoeing trail and bike share programs will be here in the next few months. Choccolocco Park is attracting athletes and visitors from all across North America, and we hope you'll join us on our legendary journey. New adventures await, so we'll see you at the park.